along with Tony Sayegh, Republican strategist and executive vice president of Jamestown Associates. Welcome to you both. Tony,
Eric, good to be here.
What are they doing right now on the phone, behind the scenes, trying to pick off delegates from somebody else?
Well, this is what the Cruz campaign has been doing with amazing efficiency and effectiveness. You heard Donald Trump in the soundbite you played earlier lamenting the fact that, Cruz is going after some of these unpledged delegates in Louisiana, a state he lost. He's going after delegates that were formally committed to candidates no longer in the race, and he's gaining ground. In fact, even before his large win in Wisconsin last night, Eric, Cruz picked up delegates in Colorado because of a very small, kind of arcane process that allowed 2 congressional districts to allot delegates in the state. He went to North Dakota, where there was a convention that was selecting delegates. He took the vast majority. I think he took 18, and Donald Trump ended up taking 1. So the more protracted this becomes, and this is where Trump, I think, really needs to begin to reassess his strategy. It's not just about marketing and earned media prowess, which clearly he dominates. It's really about tactics and organization. And when you see Ted Cruz able to do what he did last night, it does confirm this idea that Donald Trump's narrow pathway to the 1237 threshold, which is frankly a simple majority of delegates, got even tougher. He has a chance to rebound because in New York he's well ahead. If he gets more than 50%, he wins all the 95 delegates. But he has to really think long and hard about the kind of campaign structure he implements from now till June 6th, 7th.
Yeah, Richard, what about that campaign structure? I mean, does he have at all the ground game to get these delegates? Have they thought about it that Ted Cruz has?
Well, if he doesn't have the ground game to get these delegates, which I think is problematic for Donald Trump and his campaign. But with that being said, I caution all the never Trump / Ted Cruz folks out there who are saying, go Ted, get these delegates in this dark-filled, smoke-filled rooms. Because what Donald Trump has been able to do is he's amassed the largest number of votes out of any of the GOP candidates. He's brought new people into the process. And if you want these new people to turn out in November, you have to engage them. And only Donald Trump can engage them. So even if Ted Cruz wins a delegate fight, the fact is that Donald Trump won the popular vote here. And I think that is the argument that Donald Trump is making. And to be honest, it's the right argument.
I love the fact that Richard's making that argument, because on the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders is now winning 7 of the last 8 contests, out fundraising Hillary for the 2nd consecutive month. Yet all we hear is how he can't win, basically because Hillary has all of these super delegates, which is frankly the rigged equivalent on the Democratic side. I agree. I actually agree with Rich. I agree with your larger point, Richard, which is that there is an adverse impact if you shut out the fact that both Sanders and Trump are bringing in new voters, largely involving in the process because of their inspiration. That part is absolutely right, but it's a problem on both sides, frankly.
Richard, go ahead.
There's a huge contrast between where Donald Trump is and where Hillary Clinton is. Hillary Clinton is leading in the pledged delegates as well as leading in the super delegates. Bernie Sanders is not leading in pledged delegates. Hillary Clinton has the most votes out of any of the candidates running. Bernie Sanders does not. In Trump's case, Trump has the most votes. Trump has the most pledged delegates, and yet Ted Cruz and his operation and the millionaires and billionaires pumping money into super PACs are doing everything in their power to take this nomination away from Donald Trump, including playing games and tinkering with the rules,
Richard,
which is why the Trump folks are upset.
You sound like Donald Trump's campaign. I mean, he's saying he's not going to abide by the rules.
I just believe in an open process.
By the way,
I think so does Donald Trump.
There are no more smoke-filled rooms. You can't smoke. You can't drink whiskey. You can't drink brandy anymore. Let me play a soundbite. This is Donald Trump, who was on Hannity a couple of days ago, talking about the screwed-up delegate math. Listen.
Louisiana, I won the state, and I find out I have less delegates than a guy that I beat quite easily. And it's unfair. You say, what's going on? Now, in all fairness, we're way ahead in delegates, but why would somebody that loses have more delegates? They say, well, there's this way and this. And I say, wait a minute, I don't care about ways. I won the state. I'm not supposed to have less delegates than a guy I beat. It doesn't work that way.
Tony, does he have a point? I mean, look, he's a numbers guy. He's a businessman. It's like taking out a mortgage on Trump Tower and paying more.
Yeah, first I will remind Richard that Donald Trump has a larger delegate lead over Ted Cruz than Hillary Clinton, if you only look at pledged delegates, has over Bernie Sanders. So this idea that she somehow is so much better positioned, I think, is part of the spin, which is the inevitability.
We're out of time.
I will say quickly,
one point.
I got you. So I will say very quickly, Trump is actually correct in this regard, but it's the exception, not the rule on the Republican side, whereas on the Democrat side, it generally has happened. It's the fact. Look, Bernie Sanders beat her in New Hampshire whoppingly, and she still took more delegates. This happens much more often on the Democratic side.